I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. Well, we're going to talk about Biden letting all these offenders out in this mass release that he is doing of marijuana inmates that are held federally at this time. Now, this is something that I just literally talked about on that demonetization live stream. Luckily, our monetization is back. It was a system problem, thank God. So anyway, we're going to get to this because I pointed this out and I wanted to do this video. This mass pardon is going to be much, much, much more dangerous than people realize. Okay, this is not just marijuana offenders that are getting out. Okay, you've got a lot of people that pleaded down, okay, and got deals and were serving terms based on marijuana when they had done other much more egregious things. So essentially, what's fixing to happen is we're about to let out a bunch of criminals, okay? Bunch of criminals are about to hit the street, plain and simple. This is a cheap, ridiculous midterm tactic by Joe Biden to try to get the votes. He's also doing this as a virtue signal because he's taken so much crap from people like me, people like Joe Rogan, in regards to Brittany Griner. In other words, Brittany Griner's locked up in Russia right now for offenses related to vape cartridges with cannabis oil, right? The Biden administration labeled her wrongfully detained in Russia. Well, at the same time, you're getting called out because you got people incarcerated here that are incarcerated on the same offense, and you're not letting them out. Okay, so that's part of this. However, the vast majority are a result of plea deals. Okay, so let's get to this. President Joe Biden's mass pardon of those convicted of simple marijuana possession on Thursday is likely to benefit many who were arrested for more serious crimes, according to a legal expert from the Heritage Foundation, Daily Wire. Biden announced an order Thursday pardoning thousands of people convicted of, quote, simple possession of marijuana. The president also called on Health and Human Services Secretary and the Attorney General to, quote, review expeditiously how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. Quote, as I often said during my campaign for president, no one should be in jail for just using or possessing marijuana. Sending people to prison for possessing marijuana has upended too many lives and incarcerated people for conduct that many states no longer prohibit, Biden said in a statement. Now, look, it should be noted, there's also some studies coming out lately, and I've got no issues with people that want to smoke a J every now and then. I don't. But there are some studies coming out where they have shown that, look, habitual, continuous use absolutely does affect things like your motivation to, frankly, be a productive citizen. That is actually out there. Those studies are starting to come out, okay, as more and more of this use becomes mainstream. A vast majority of criminal convictions are the result of plea deals. So, many of those benefiting from the president's pardon were likely originally charged with more serious crimes, according to Paul Larkin, senior legal research fellow at Heritage Foundation's Meese Center for Legal and Judicial Studies. Quote, 95% of the time, federal prosecutors engage in plea bargaining, Larkin told the Daily Wire. Quote, it is possible or likely people are going to benefit from this who don't deserve it because they were actually accused of a more serious crime. Damn right there is. Larkin served nearly a decade investigating and prosecuting criminal cases for the Department of Justice. In addition, he served as stints to counsel in Senate Judiciary Committee and Special Agent for and later acting of the Criminal Investigation Division of the Environmental Protection Agency. Quote, you're going to have a very large number of people affected by this who were charged with something far more serious than the government had leveraged to get them to cooperate. And then they pled down to a simple marijuana possession, Larkin said. He gave example of a drug runner caught smuggling contraband in the U.S. via a Go Fast boat. We've seen that. Look, if you just want frame of reference, think about Miami Vice, the movie. Think about that speedboat. That's the kind of boats they use. They especially used to run cocaine in to the coast. Everybody who gets arrested in that circumstance for bringing in, a large quantity of ganja is going to be, eager to make a plea deal because they want to cut their time in prison. So what do? The government goes along as long as they cooperate. The guy piloting the Go Fast boat says who he dealt with at the freighter and who he was supposed to deliver the cannabis on shore to. All of that sort of stuff. So they make cases, which is good. And then the guy who helps them gets a break. Yeah, that's right. A senior administration official told reporters on Thursday that Biden's order is estimated to apply to, quote, 6,500 people who were convicted of simple marijuana possession from 92 to 2021, as well as thousands of others convicted under the Washington, D.C. drug code. The official also said that no one is in federal prison today solely on marijuana possession. Wow. Trevor Burrus, a research fellow for constitutional studies at Cato Institute, said the Biden announcement, quote, welcome and long overdue. Biden's announcement will hopefully be the first of many that will roll back monstrous federal war on marijuana, Burrus said in a statement. Wow. For 85 years, it has ruined countless lives. Marijuana should never have been prohibited. And Biden further asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services to review marijuana Schedule 1 status will hopefully correct that error. Larkin said the timing of Biden's pardon coming weeks before the midterms and on the heel of Biden's student debt relief announcement strongly suggest political moves. Quote, this is really just a fraudulent use of the pardon power because it's designed to deceive the public into thinking he's actually done something noble. You can do the right thing for the wrong reasons, and that's what's going on here. If you think these people should not have been convicted because this should not have been a crime, then you should have done it early on. So there we go. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to talk about here, right? It's not so much the guys that literally just possessed the marijuana, but that's not really what happened here. Okay, on most of these federal charges, it was something much, much, much more sinister that happened. And crime's not bad enough in New York, in Portland, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, looking at you, Lightfoot. My God. New Orleans, Houston, Dallas. Come on. The list goes on, and we're about to have a bunch of more criminals out in the street. Okay, is marijuana in isolation an issue? No. But a lot of stuff is not in isolation, is it? And it's absolutely a cheap tactic. Come on. It absolutely is. John did a video when this news broke, but I wanted to cover and peel back the curtain and show you, hey, this is going to turn out much, much worse. Okay? You're about to have a lot more criminals in the street, and then you got that bail law coming in Illinois. It's a mess. It is a total mess, and it's going to get worse when it comes to crime. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.